Testing audio, 1 2, test 1 2, test 1 2, home of the Matildas.
Help us level the playing field. Sign the parliamentary petition today to fuel the growth and fund the game.
Well, here we are at the home of the Matildas. Round 4 continues in this 2026 Senol NPL Victoria season. It's going to be a men's-women's doubleheader here today. And kicking things off is South Melbourne versus Melbourne Victory. My name is Adam Sarikoglu. Pleased to be joining you, as always, on the NPL Victoria YouTube channel. And, well, the team news is the early headline here. A lot of changes for both sides to be expected for Melbourne Victory being obviously an academy team. But South Melbourne have made 4 changes of their own. We are technically on home turf for Melbourne Victory, but this is a designated home game for South Melbourne. Obviously, Lakeside out of action with the Grand Prix taking place at Albert Park as we speak. For Justin Micallef, Hallis, 4 changes. In comes Annabelle Haffenden, Sophie Papatsanis, Eva Goodschmidt, and Emily Roach. They're the 4 inclusions in this starting 11 from the team that drew 1-1 with Heidelberg last week. Making way, Alana Byrne, Melinda Barbieri, Nikki Furukawa, and Heidi Dalton, all 4 of which are on the bench for South. And for Melbourne Victory, 7 changes in this lineup today. Plenty of new faces and a lot of under 20 squad representation as well. All 7 starters from last week that are not starting today are not in the squad at all. So Ella O'Grady, Fiorina Yaria, Poppy O'Keefe, Emily Rutkowski, Rosie Curtis, Sienna Teixeira, Jessica Young, all out of the squad entirely today, and a lot of fresh faces for Santi Escudero. It includes Emmy Trainer, Jade Tam, Erin Tarrant, Olivia Nicolazzo, Catherine Mull, Alice Francu, and Maisie Gaspar, who makes her Melbourne Victory debut today, coming over from Keilor Park. So the 7 players not featuring from last week's starting 11 are not going to feature at all here today. Santi Escudero's dipped into the under-20 squad to fill up the bench spots here, as South will look to go on an early attack here. It was Schmelzer, Chloe McKenzie, one of the 4 retained from last week's 11 in goal today. And the all fluoro green kits here. It's a big day at the home of the Matildas. It's been a busy place of late. We've got a men's NPL game coming up later this evening. South Melbourne hosting Bentley. You can watch that right here as well on the NPL Victoria YouTube channel. 3 live games happening right now in NPL Victoria Women's. After what was a busy night last night across the league, South Melbourne will have an early corner here. Emily Roach will take it. Bit of breeze about. Looks like it's blowing toward the left of screen. The ends that Victory will be defending in this first half. Emily Roach in these somewhat breezy conditions. An early corner for South Melbourne. Came in 5th on the table after drawing with last year's ladder-leading Heidelberg. We've had a mixed start to their season. We have the ball incoming. That's not going to come off for Roach after the first corner kick was denied. Melbourne Victory have had a really good start to their season. They're 2nd on the table coming into round 4. An impressive 3-2 win against Avondale here at the home of the Matildas last week. They've played all but 1 game here so far in this new NPL Victoria season. And they'll be here again next week as well against Keilor Park, Maisie Gaspar's former side. She's on debut out here for Victory today in the number 42 shirt. Right now we're looking at Isabella Warhead for South Melbourne. Haffenden, Geo Candy's come a long way out of the goal area to get involved. Former Victory player Geo Candy. Huffington tried to get it to Westland. It didn't quite get there. On the follow-up, though, South Melbourne okay. Two iconic brands in Victorian football coming together for the first time in NPL Victoria. Both these teams are featuring a wealth of former FV Academy members, obviously particularly on the Melbourne Victory side, but a couple as well from South. Eva Goodschmidt was in the FV Academy team last year, playing against quite a few former teammates here today. Heidi Dalton's on the bench, another former FV Academy member from last season. Candy straight down the middle and picked out Roach, who quickly guided it toward Westland. Awkward bounce there for Nicolazzo. There might be a chance here for South. Goodschmidt at least gets a corner for the effort. Good early signs for Hallis here. They've already been able to generate a second corner. Just barely 5 minutes in, but that is a wasted opportunity. Just mishit in the end by Emily Roach. So two teams that coming into round 4 found themselves in the top 5. Victory have only dropped 2 points so far this season. Roach again has the ball at her feet. This time went to Pantazopoulos, who scored last week. Flag goes up on Alexis Pantazopoulos. Scored fairly late in the piece against the old rival Heidelberg United. Victory themselves had a draw recently against Heidelberg here at this venue only a couple of weeks ago. Tam played it well for Melbourne Victory. Franku. Trainer was surrounded. Pantasopoulos emerged with possession. Goodschmidt. Collier. Schmelzer. They're working in tight quarters here, South Melbourne. Bump ball. Flag has gone up again on South Melbourne. So we're at the home of the Matildas. It's also the home of Melbourne Victory here in NPL Victoria. But South are the home team here today in the all blue kits. South's next home game in a couple of weeks will be against the league-leading Borondara Eagles that will be back at Lakeside. Once the fanfare of the Grand Prix has come and gone for another year. South's men hosting Bentley here later this evening. Bulich going down the line. Didn't get too far. Zolverston regains for Victory. Just a bit of caution from Tarrant, and then Tarrant felt like she had no choice maybe and gets sent out of the game as a result. The error on the ball, the chop down to try to recover the situation And the penalty is that Melbourne Victory are going to have to play nearly all of this game with 10 players on the field. Wow, that's a really, really early blow for Melbourne Victory. Armin Pavar is our referee here today. Did not hesitate. An immediate expulsion for Erin Tarrant, and the free kick now to be taken by Misha Westland. Westland goes for it. Oh, wow! What a stunning minute of events here at the home of the Matildas. Just booted it on target and beat Chloe McKenzie 1-0 for South Melbourne. Unbelievable start here at the home of the Matildas. Wow. What a stunning turn of events very early on here. So the ball had been passed toward Erin Tarrant. Made the mistake. That saw her direct opponent go off to the races and potentially take a shot. She did what she could to stop that. And that drew a red card from Armin Pavar. And the resulting free kick was converted from a long, long way out. Misha Westland, who, to be honest, didn't really target any particular corner or post and just went directly at goal, and Chloe McKenzie just couldn't stop it. And you can see the score in behind the play here. As the ball gets thrown in toward Partizopoulos. South Melbourne now have not only the scoreboard, but the personnel advantage as well. Not long after the goal went in, there was a clear thud emanating from the Melbourne Victory bench. A disastrous start for the team that has had a really good start to this season. This is Wallhead for South Melbourne. Haffenden being tracked by Jasmine Miller. Wallhead. Collier presented well. Goodschmidt went back toward Collier. Goodschmidt recovers. Pantazopoulos with Franku for company. Did well to get it to Roach, who found a teammate in more open space. It was Westland who goes again. No issues this time for Chloe McKenzie. There's a South Melbourne player down here. And we're going to get an early break in play. There's not much that hasn't happened in the first 14 minutes. There is going to be a change as well. The fourth official, I didn't catch the numbers on the board, but the fourth official did raise the board. So we're going to do what we can to confirm if there has been an early forced change here for South Melbourne. Santi Escudero has brought his charges in for an early chat because what could have gone wrong did go wrong for Melbourne Victory to start this game. So, this injured South Melbourne player up on her feet now. There is definitely going to be a change. I think it's Nikki Furukawa. So Furukawa is coming on for an injured Francesca Yamano. Plenty to keep track of very early on here. Two players who started this game did not get through 15 minutes. Francesca Yamano has come off. And Erin Tarrant has been sent off. Hope you're keeping up with everything here. If you're watching us on the NPL Victoria YouTube channel, the goal on the board belongs to Misha Westland, scored from a free kick that was drawn from a pretty cynical foul from Erin Tarrant, where she just had no choice but to take down her opponent, who was on her way to a one-on-one situation against Chloe McKenzie in goal for Melbourne Victory. Paver was having none of that. Still, Erin Tarrant might feel like she had no choice whatsoever, may have sacrificed her place on the field to stop a potential goal, but all amounted to nothing anyway because the goal was converted anyway from the free kick. And one early substitution window has been burned for Justin Mikulet for forced change. First touch, Pantazopoulos gets in front of Bulic. Pantazopoulos let that go. Another corner for South Melbourne. Already their third of the game. Alexis Pantazopoulos will take it. Emily Roach took the first two. The Pantazopoulos corner. McKenzie gets glove to ball. It's going to fall Melbourne Victory's way. And they'll set South Melbourne back at the halfway line. Emily Collier. Trainer. No way through for Nicolazzo. Victory ball anyway. Collier picks off the throw. That'll be a victory ball. Just enough pressure applied by Annika Doveston. Dalton again. Tam. Just got worried out of it by Pantazopoulos, who gets it back now. Tam recovers nicely on defence. It falls to Goodschmidt. No one home, further ahead for South Melbourne. South Melbourne ball. Collier. Pantazopoulos has been quite involved in this game so far. Furukawa, the new player out there. Beaten to it by Bullich that time, but we'll get it back now. Nikki Furukawa. It's played in for Roach, who went toward the right post. This time, Chloe McKenzie read it well. McKenzie overhit the pass in the direction of Olivia Nicolato. Papatsanis here to take the throw for South Melbourne. For Furukawa. They ran out of room, South Melbourne. Victory get it back. Bullich. Papatsanis, rinse and repeat. Inboard for Westland. Lost the one-on-one. That pass was just pulled up enough to allow Maul at least some sort of chance to advance it further forward. South have it back now on the last line of defence as Waldhead quickly got past Jasmine Miller. Roach. Haffenden. Out wide for Papatsanis. Furukawa, good turn. But Emily Roach wasn't ready to peel off and make that dash forward. Kenzie going along the ground this time. Nicolato, the wide-ranging option that wasn't hit. Collier. Papatsanis will have to retreat back. Huffington. Wallhead looks around. Roach. Westland. Papatsanis. Westland. Trainer intersects and gets it back for Melbourne victory. Nicolato has to put the wheels on now. In front's Goodschmidt. Back to the safety of Candy. Geo Candy. Schmelzer. South Melbourne will be happy to be patient. They've got one extra player out there at their disposal. It was Aaron Tarrant sent off. And the resulting free kick scored for South Melbourne by Misha Westland 10 minutes into this game. Roach wanted Pantazopoulos. Offside flag's gone up a few times already on South. Pantazopoulos looked to be onside that time. Westland working hard to get it back as Franku couldn't keep it under control. It'll be claimed by Dalton though for victory. Going out to the left. It's Gaspar. Ball coming in just beyond reach. Doveston lets it bounce. Franku was in there to help from behind, but the player making a nuisance for South was Emily Roach. No foul there as Goodschmidt falls over. First time we've really seen Melbourne Victory go on the attack since the red card to Tarrant. Furukawa up against Bulic here. Furukawa at the ball right now. Bulic stays with Furukawa, and that will be a corner. You probably see in your picture at the moment that flag is blowing pretty heavily to the left. It's going to be an out-swinging ball, this corner kick, though. To be taken by Pantazopoulos. And the header was from Schmelzer. Falls out of play. Dangerous pass this one. Jay Tam has a problem. It looked a bit similar to what ultimately led to the goal and the red card. That little mistake. This time Melbourne Victory will get away with it. And some really nifty footwork by Franku. Gaspar went back toward Franku. But Westland wins that battle. Wallhead. Kept on running. Tried to link back up with Roach. Too many Melbourne Victory players in the way. Miller had nowhere to go other than to get some space back through Jade Tam. Option to the right is Trainer. Nicolazzo. Now it's Melbourne Victory exercising some patience. Tam. Turnover. Tam gets there before Furukawa does. J Tam. Overhit the ball in the direction of Jasmine Miller. Easy pickings for Gio Candy. Approaching the half hour here at the home of the Matildas. Men's, women's doubleheader here today. It'll be a 7 o'clock kickoff in Senol NPL Victoria men, South Melbourne and Bentley. Right here on the NPL Victoria YouTube channel. This is Wallhead. Collier. Did well to get past Nicolazzo. Collier stays with it. Still Collier. Oh, that's a beautiful ball. Roach could have the shot. Decided to go for the assist again, but did not pick out Pantazopoulos. Nor did she find Misha Westland. The extra play is really helping South Melbourne right now. Goodschmidt has some space. We'll cut back onto the right boot, but it's blocked. They'll go again. Collier. Takes on Nicolazzo. Furukawa. Yep, was offside. Mila Bulic will take the throw here for Melbourne Victory. They've conceded in the 10th minute. Erin Tarrant, a straight red card. Mackenzie under all sorts of pressure. It should be a victory ball, though it is. Schmelzer surrounded by victory players. Dalton emerges. Franco has been working hard in midfield. Bulic takes on Papatsanis. Bulic, Papatsanis stayed with it, did well. Westerland. Misha Westland. Back from Roach. Papatsanis. Good ball, Furukawa. No offside flag this time. Furukawa, it's 1-on-1. And it hits the post. Still a chance for South. Goodschmidt will play back. Roach will take the shot. Mackenzie did well. Another chance. Pantazopoulos. One more time. I think a little bit of glove that time from Mackenzie. Well done, Chloe. Mackenzie has been under siege in this game so far. Has had to make multiple saves. And it remains 1-0 for South Melbourne. Perfect day for football here. There are some dark clouds lurking, but we have sunshine right now, about 23 or so degrees at kick-off here this afternoon. One of 3 games in Senol NPL Victoria today. 3 last night, 1 coming up on Monday. Casey Fields had 3 pretty dramatic blowouts last night. Heidelberg really struggling in the grand final rematch against Box Hill. Borondara, the league-leading Borondara Eagles, dominating against Preston, a 4-1 win at Jenna Steele Stadium. As the ball runs away from Furukawa. The season just starting to take shape now. Melbourne Victory have not lost yet. They've only dropped 2 points so far. Good for second on the table. They're up against it here today, though. They've only got 10 players out there against South's 11 and a deficit on the scoreboard. Here's Tam taking the free kick. Maul. Trainer. Good first touch around Pantazopoulos. Nicolazzo further up the pitch to provide some assistance. Doveston. Nice touch by Doveston. It's just beyond the reach of Nicolazzo, though. South Melbourne throw. Jay Tam. Trainer. Awkward little touch between Doveston and Nicolazzo. South Melbourne reclaim the ball. Good Schmidt. Tam gets it back for victory. Mull went looking for Miller. Just crept inside the area. Gio Candy collects it. This is Huffington. Schmelzer. Woolhead takes the space available in the middle of the main pitch here at the home of the Matildas. It's Pantazopoulos now. And miscued the ball and had it land on top of the net. Pavers just stopped play for a moment. I think a piece of, maybe a shin guard even, had come off and was just laying on the field. Mila Bulic, I think, lost her shin guard. Oh no, another problem clearing out for Akawa. Oh no, play's going to stop. What is going on here? What is going on here? Was Armin Paver not ready to restart play? Nonetheless, Melbourne Victory having all sorts of issues clearing their lines. I think we're okay to resume now. We are. Doveston front side here. Did choose to hold up. I only had one player ahead that she could have gone to. It's Victory's ball now. Trainer. McKenzie for Rakawa closing in quickly. South Melbourne can sense the issues that Melbourne Victory are having clearing their lines. And it's just providing a little more oomph on their pressure game right now. Good Schmidt loses out to Doveston. Tam. Two players on for Tam. Outnumbered. The safety valve was McKenzie. And again, while it hasn't been given back to South Melbourne, at least not immediately, it was a difficult clearance. Roach, Tam stood tall. All was okay in the end. Franku misfires toward Doveston. Pantazopoulos. Collier. And then Goodschmidt back to Pantazopoulos. McKenzie making the jump once more. Another corner for South Melbourne. They had a few even when it was 11v11. It is completely on their terms at the moment. Emily Roach. Soul Trainer the wrong way. McKenzie will roll it toward Mila Bulic. Franco back to McKenzie. Bulic once more. South Melbourne ball again. Sophie Papatanis will take it. Huffington just on the back foot, but knew where Jasmine Miller was the entire time. Papatanis has her initial ball blocked. Westland trying to recover it for South Melbourne. Papatanis gets involved. Annabelle Huffington. Geo Candy for Isabella Woolhead. Catherine Moore Candy's a long way out of the area as Jasmine Miller was closing in from the other way. Victory have not had many opportunities to apply some pressure of their own up front. Pantasopoulos is out. Alexis Pantasopoulos scored last week. Can go again. Scores this week. 2-0. Alexis Pantasopoulos causing plenty of havoc down the left wing. Tucked it into the back of the net nicely. It's 2-0.
Melbourne FC scored by number 20, Alexis Pantasopoulos.
And as the sun ducks behind the clouds and it gets a bit gloomy here at the home of the Matildas, it's looking like a really gloomy day for Melbourne Victory, trying to avoid their first defeats of the season. Before reaching half-time, they've conceded 2 goals and they only have 10 players out on the pitch against South's 11. Mackenzie going out wide for Maisie Gasper. Furukawa's been quite impressive since coming on. Franco in an awkward situation there. Didn't want to concede the corner, had no passing options. Westland positioned herself really well. So Nikki Furukawa had to come on for an injured Francesca Yamano. Only about 15 or so minutes into the game. Westland. It's come out to Collier. Tam. Held up the pass well. Miller goes on the quicker release ball. But it doesn't reach Gasper. Collier. Safely through to Chloe McKenzie. Melbourne Victory need to hold on for 3 more minutes here. It's been a disastrous first half for them. We already had 3 blowouts this weekend in NPL Victoria. We could have another one here this afternoon. And South are pressing again. Roach, 2 defenders to get around. Did so. Plays back. Open net. 3-0. And there's just no fanfare about it at all. Misha Westland scored again.
It's a goal for South Melbourne FC, scored by number 14, Misha Westland.
Misha Westland finds herself on a hat-trick. And I suppose the one thing that we probably haven't acknowledged yet in this first half is that Melbourne Victory have so many younger players out there that haven't had much game time this season so far. 7 new starters in the lineup today. And 7 regulars that aren't in the squad at all. Some of which have had outstanding starts to their season. We're missing Ella O'Grady, Fiorina Yaria, Poppy O'Keefe, Emily Rutkowski, Rosie Curtis, Sienna Teixeira, and Sienna Silvesca. It is a lot of players that aren't in this side today, regardless of playing with 10 or 11 players. It might be starting to show already here. That said, South Melbourne made 4 changes of their own. But those 4 players that started last week against Heidelberg at least still in the squad. Furukawa's already been subbed on for an injured Francesca Iamano. 30 seconds left here in regulation there. Probably will be quite a few minutes added on. We've had a few stoppages in this first half, along with the 3 goals. South go on one more attack here. Roach, Furukawa looking to take on Bullich here. Furukawa at least gets the corner. The number on the 4th officials board is only 2. Another South Melbourne corner. Jasmine Miller with some fancy stuff. Smoothed out of the number 9 and just trying to help out further up the field. Furukawa again working hard. It will be South Melbourne's free kick to be taken quickly by Emily Collier. Armin Paver not allowing that to occur. Schmelzer. Haffenden. 1 minute left here in the first half. A 3-0 lead for South Melbourne. And a very early red card for Melbourne Victory to rub a little more salt into the wounds, but it's a very young and inexperienced lineup out here today for Victory. They will be relying on under 20 players from the bench later in this game. McKenzie gets things restarted. Maul. Again, Melbourne Victory really finding it hard to clear the lines. Those 2 extra minutes are up. It is half-time at the home of the Matildas. Misha Westland has 2 goals for South Melbourne. Alexis Pantazopoulos has the other one. It is half-time here on the NPL Victoria YouTube channel. We'll be back from the home of the Matildas after our break at half-time at South Melbourne 3, Melbourne Victory 0. Welcome back to the home of the Matildas, where it has been an interesting game of football here so far between South Melbourne and Melbourne Victory. A 3-0 lead for South over Victory after a direct red card for Erin Tarrant only 10 minutes into the game. A free kick as a result of that incident then put away by Misha Westland, who has 2 goals in this game. Alexis Pantazopoulos has scored as well for South Melbourne. At halftime, both teams have made substitutions. So firstly, for South Melbourne, we have had Raquel Doralis replace Emily Roach, and then a double move for Melbourne Victory as well. We'll just stay with this play for the moment. Tam's going to concede the corner to South Melbourne. So 2 changes for Victory at halftime as well. Maisie Gaspar and Olivia Nicolato have made way for Chiara Calafiore and Tanisha Winstanley, 2 under-20 players getting their look at some senior action here in NPL Victoria. First corner of the second half for South Melbourne. They had quite a few in the first. Double fist there from Mackenzie. Calafiore tried to go out toward the other new player out there, Tanisha Winstanley. Melbourne Victory ball here. They've been under siege today. So many changes through the squad. A nearly completely different lineup that took a win against Avondale last week. 7 changes for Victory. The shot from range taken by Pantazopoulos. Pantazopoulos gets another chance here. Mackenzie had come a long way out. Tam denies. Bullich rather denies right on the line. Mackenzie has gone down here. And this might be maybe some head contact here, and Armin Paver was he was going to stop play straight away. Chloe Mackenzie, who had all sorts of drama throughout the first half, had to make a number of saves. Obviously there were 3 that did go past her, but it could have been 4 or 5 if it wasn't for some of her heroics in goal, and may have suffered a really early second half injury here. On a day where just nothing is going right for Melbourne Victory. And immediately the medical staff had to go out and check on Chloe Mackenzie. Doesn't appear to be, at least from our vantage point right now, there are any signs that Mackenzie will have to come off. The issue might be more shoulder related. Looks like the right shoulder is what is being attended to at the moment. Yep. Looks like it's a right shoulder problem, just testing to see if the right arm can indeed be lifted. She did look a little ginger. She's had a day and a half already, has only played a half of this game. Chloe Mackenzie. Can she keep her spot on the field? Natalie Pekak is the backup keeper. And she's busy warming up at the moment. Jade Tam then comes in to check on her goalkeeper. And everything is ultimately all right. Back underway. The ball will be given back to South Melbourne from the back. Back live here at the home of the Matildas. Women's men's double header. South Melbourne hosting Bentley later this evening. You can watch that here on the NPL Victoria YouTube channel. Haffenden. Papatsanis. Furukawa, a first half substitution. Now Furukawa's gone down. Is it cramp and nothing more, maybe, for Nikki Furukawa? Gets back up. Calafiore got mixed up with Furukawa there. Definitely a tale of experience versus youth in that one-on-one battle. 4 under-20 representatives starting on the bench today for Melbourne Victory. 2 of them now on the field. Chiara Calafiore and Tanisha Winstanley came on at half-time. Here is Winstanley. Doveston receiving from Franco. Winstanley, this is the chance for Melbourne Victory. And just getting enough ground on Winstanley was Gio Candy. And no goal for Melbourne Victory. But that was their most promising look at a goal all day long here so far. They've come out with a bit more purpose in this second half. And we're always going to be on the back foot, making so many squad changes between last week's win against Avondale and today's battle with South. South Melbourne had to make 4 changes of their own, coming off a 1-1 draw against Heidelberg United. Victory themselves have had a draw against Heidelberg in this still young season. Round 2 draw here at the home of the Matildas. Victory playing an away game on home turf here today. Lakeside Stadium out of action at the moment. Now, Misha Westland's on a hat-trick. Tried to set up Furukawa. Was there a handball there? Not cited by Armin Pavar. Miller was on the back foot. Papatsanis won it back for South Melbourne. Pantasopoulos looped one toward the back post. There was nothing coming there. Jade Tam will take the kick here for Melbourne Victory. Got the captain's armband today. Winstanley has shown a bit since coming on. This is Haffenden. Along the ground toward the halftime substitute, Raquel Durales. South Melbourne get the call here. Quickly taken by Schmelzer. Pantasopoulos scored the middle goal of the 3 in the first half. Westland ended up falling down. Miller is the one that's going to Tried to set up a counter, only as far as Haffenden though. Westland gets around Doveston. Papatsanis. Doveston wins it back for victory. Through the middle of the pitch we go. Diagonal ball forward. Doveston's not going to reach the target for Melbourne victory. Doveston gets another look though. Haffenden got a boot in. First time ball then sent forward by Mull. Gio Candy has it now in glove. Sophie Papatsanis. Furukawa. His fight toward Westland, it was okay. Duralis was there. Booted directly into Westland. Furukawa, look at the space available. Doesn't shoot. Westland for the hat-trick. No, denied. Tam comes flying in late to help out Mackenzie. Corner. No corner. It was a throw, in fact. Furukawa. Papatsanis. Westland at the edge of the box. Crossed in. Denied quickly by Melbourne victory. Papatsanis goes back toward Westland. Another crack here for South Melbourne. Panthazopoulos is offside. Tam wants to go quickly. Didn't find Miller. Victory get the throw anyway. Miller Bulic. It was her goal line save that prevented this from being 4-0 very, very early in this second half. Winstanley. Got picked off by another player that was subbed on at half-time in Raquel Duralis. Haffenden. Westland. Papatsanis. Furukawa is going to be cut off here by Miller Bulic, but Bulic has no help. Don't forget, Melbourne victory are down to 10 players. Have been since the 10th minute. It's Miller with nothing to work with whatsoever in terms of space and room. It's out for a goal kick. Smells up. Bulic does really well against Westland that time, and Duralis then came in to help out for South Melbourne. Wins it back for Hallis. Papatsanis. Stretching was Westland, but it goes past her. Jasmine Miller's moved to a left wing-back position. Winstanley has been impressive here. No chance at a shot this time. Did have one earlier. Haffenden forces a corner. Corner to be taken by Jay Tam. Reached the hour mark. 2 more changes coming up for South Melbourne. The corner first here for Jay Tam. Contact made by Michaela Schmelzer. Franku to take the throw for Melbourne Victory. Staring down the barrel of their first loss of this Senol NPL Victoria season. 2 wins and a draw so far. Doveston. Over the head and into the back of the net. Wow! It's something out of nothing. Was it Anika Doveston? Still having a laugh about it all. What a goal. 3-1. Here come the changes for South Melbourne. Melinda Barbieri and Heidi Dalton have come on. It's Patazopoulos and Papatanis that have come off. Patazopoulos did score.
Coming on, number 21, Heidi Dalton, and number 11, Melinda Barbieri.
So Melbourne Victory have turned a corner in this second half. They're playing with 10 players. Trailed 3-0 at halftime. They've got one of those goals back. An entirely new squad, or nearly entirely new squad, doing battle with South Melbourne here today. Nothing had been going to plan, but this second half has been a really, really good response so far. Tam, Miller, taken away by Calafiore. Victory with the tails up right now. It's Franku, left-footed shot. Gio Candy, just got to look at the replay of the goal from Anika Doveston. It definitely took a deflection on the way in. And that may have been enough for Gio Candy to not be able to keep it out of the back of the net. I'm sure the intention from Anika Doveston was to cross in, but the deflection results in a goal for Melbourne Victory. McKenzie in 2 minds here. That's going to open up the door entirely, and a goal that should not have really been conceded. Heidi Dalton tucks it away, 4-1. Dalton only just come on and has restored the 3-goal buffer for South Melbourne. They'll take the wind out of the sails of Melbourne Victory. You could easily have questioned how long that their surge was going to last, playing with only 10 players. Good Schmidt. Taken away by South Melbourne. Barbieri for Farakawa. Bullich tracking Farakawa. Nicky Farakawa will take the throw. I was going to say the touch was clearly off Farakawa. It will be a Melbourne Victory throw. Bullich. Reclaimed for South by Goodschmidt, then given up by Schmelzer. It was Doveston there. Calafiore pushed off possession in the end. Here's Tam. Farakawa gets some piece of that ball. Victory ball in the end anyway. Maul going out wide. Franku gets to work. Had a hard time though. Barbieri. In combination with Collier. Trainer's going to go back to McKenzie. Looks to be okay now after hurting her shoulder early in the second half. So, not for the first time this weekend in women's Senol NPL Victoria, we've got a 4-1 scoreline. That was the final score last night between Preston and Boranzara, a 4-1 win for Boranzara. Crowd slowly building here. South Melbourne men to host Bentley for a 7 o'clock kickoff, and another South Melbourne injury concern here. They've had a few today. Misha Westland this time, who has scored twice in this game. Alana Byrne is getting ready to come on for Hallis. Is Misha Westland done for the day? Scored the free kick after the red card to Erin Tarrant in the 10th minute, then scored a couple minutes before the half-time whistle. Is Alana Byrne set to replace Misha Westland? Chloe McKenzie's come over to the Melbourne Victory bench as well. She hurt her right shoulder pretty early in this second half in an aerial contest. No issues for Chloe McKenzie, as Alana Byrne gets some final instructions from Justin Mikulev. Can't yet tell if Westerland is set to come off here. Westland's going to come to the sidelines. I just have a feeling it's not going to be Misha Westland that is going to come off for Alana Byrne. We shall see. No substitution just yet. Calafiore, 1-on-1 against Goodschmidt. Won the free kick. The youngster, one of 4 under-20 representatives in the squad today for Melbourne Victory. Mila Bulic. Tam. Franku with some space out wide. Victory have been far more cohesive in attack in this second half. Ball incoming. Winstanley didn't get a clean look at it. Got taken away by the South Melbourne defence. It's Doveston on the ball right now. Goes back toward Trainer. See the offside flag go up. Westland is back out there now. Alana Byrne still waiting to come on for South Melbourne. 20 minutes left in regulation. 3 goals to the good for South Melbourne, a 4-1 lead. Whose ball will that be? It will be South Melbourne's. Miller Bullich sends it skyward. The header from Schmelzer. Trainer tried to guide it down toward Franku. It didn't come off though. Now we see Collier go for a run. It's guided on toward Melinda Barbieri. Tam. Mull. Franku was wrong-footed. Came up a little ginger. Don't think Taralas knew that she had a player on there. Dalton. Schmelzer. Westland. The Rullers again getting involved. It was well won back though. Doveston went toward Winstanley only for a moment. Wallhead takes it away. Durales. Furukawa is offside. Plenty of offsides today. Mostly for South Melbourne, but a couple for victory as well. Here is the change. Michaela Schmelzer will be the player coming off for Alana Byrne.
Substitution for South Melbourne FC. Coming off number 22, Michaela Schmelzer. And coming on number 8, Alana Byrne.
The American makes way for Alana Byrne. Well, one back by Westland down to Durales. Now Westland. Furukawa again on the right side here. Closed in, did Bullich. Miller Bullich has been really good today for Melbourne victory. It's been a hard day at the office for everyone defensively for victory. Byrne gets an early touch. Wallhead. Another offside flag on South Melbourne here. They've had a spate of offsides today, South Melbourne. Wallhead. Byrne. Wallhead can go all the way back to Gio Candy. No clean sheet for Gio Candy today, but it did look like a deflected cross in off the boot. Well, the cross was off the boot of Annika Doveston. It looked like it took a deflection. And that's how we've arrived at 4-1. South Melbourne scored not too long after that. Chloe McKenzie out of position and an easy put away for Heidi Dalton. Don't rule out a goalkeeping change for Melbourne victory either. All right, now Westland denied the first time, then went in again. Melbourne victory ball. I think we're going to get a goalkeeper change here. Natalie Peacock is getting ready. Chloe McKenzie is going to have her day come to an end. So McKenzie injured her right shoulder very early in this second half. Natalie Peacock is now on.
Coming off number 1, Chloe McKenzie, and coming on number 20, Natalie Peacock.
McKenzie had to make a lot of saves in the first half in particular. He's probably been the busiest player out there today. Chloe McKenzie. Hopefully her shoulder is okay. Barbieri tried to lob the new keeper. There you go. You've got a barely warm Natalie Peacock. Why not have a crack from downtown? Once again, Melbourne Victory struggling to clear the lines. That was an issue a lot through the first half. Miller tried to thread it through to Winstanley. It didn't come off. Candy going quickly toward Huffington. Good Schmidt. Good Schmidt, the former FE Academy member. A lot of FE Academy players now part of the Melbourne Victory setup here in NPL Victoria. Miller's been all over the park today for Victory. Couldn't set up a chance that time. Winstanley up against Westland. Furukawa's in front of Bullich. Furukawa goes down. Miller, Bullich can't retrieve the ball. Westland against Miller. Used their body well there, Westland. Tam gets it back for Victory. Bullich. Westland once more for South Melbourne. Byrne. Across the field we go. Emily Collier. Trainer had multiple players to worry about. Dalton takes the shot. The new goalkeeper, Natalie Peacock, was never going to have any trouble with that ball. There will be a 7 o'clock men's kickoff here this evening in Senol NPL Victoria. South Melbourne will host Bentley Greens on neutral turf. Somewhat neutral turf. South are quite familiar with this particular facility. Of course, Lakeside Stadium out of action at the moment with the Grand Prix at Albert Park. Miller. South Melbourne in this match are the home team, but they're playing on Melbourne Victory's home turf. All but one match for Victory so far has been played at this venue. And they'll be here again next week against Keilor Park on Sunday. South Melbourne travelling to Box Hill. Well and truly offside is Heidi Dalton. How many offsides can you have in a single game of football? They're really piling up for South Melbourne. We'll have security retrieve the ball that's gone astray over the fence, but a new one's going to come into play anyway. Tam. Emmy Trainer. Ball went out of play as it came toward Franku. We're about to see some more substitutions for Melbourne Victory. Eva Goodsmith. Furukawa. Right behind was Bullich. Bullich has been marking Furukawa really, really tightly. Furukawa went back in field toward Wallhead. Wallhead with plenty of speed, then ran into the brick wall of Catherine Mall. All heads come off worst for wear. Is Moore going to get a yellow card here? No. There have been no cautions here today from Armin Paver, just an expulsion. And a fresh airy for Alana Byrne there. Erin Tarrant, only 10 minutes into the game, a direct red card. In what was an attempt on a professional foul. What was that? It was waved off between Bulic and Furukawa. What a fascinating battle that is right now. Over on the right flank for South Melbourne. Did happen inside the box as well. South Melbourne staff a little bit frustrated. All I have to do is look over at the scoreboard though and be feeling a bit better about things, you would say. 4-1 lead here for Hellas. Doveston. Calafiore got ripped off the ball there by Alana Byrne. Byrne's not happy with the call. 8 minutes left in regulation. Change for Melbourne Victory. Double change, in fact. Annika Doveston is the first player off for Violet Hall. And the second player off is Alice Franku. Coming on is Mika Regev. So both Hall and Regev also from the under-20 squad. Mika Doveston gets credited with the goal just after the hour mark. It looked to have taken a fairly decent deflection. It was a cross into the area. That ended up sending Gio Candy the wrong way, and that's the one goal Victory have been able to score today. And Regev instantly gets a touch here. The long-range pass from Jade Tam, who's going to get it back now off Mila Bulic. Tam's ball is blocked by Heidi Dalton. It's already scored once today, Dalton. Dorales. Barbieri. Is there a chance here for Collier? If there was, then Emily Collier didn't make the most of it. Round 4's been full of blowouts in Senol NPL Victoria so far. Another one on the cards here this afternoon. Miller has been working so hard today for Melbourne Victory. Jasmine Miller. Heidi Dalton. Here's Byrne. Bulic has switched sides, currently lines up against Raquel Dorales. Just taking a look down at Melbourne Victory bench. Chloe McKenzie, the goalkeeper that's been subbed out, now icing the right shoulder. An injury that was suffered early in the second half. Did last a good half hour after that. But it's Natalie Peacock in goal now for Melbourne Victory. And trying to keep it at 4. South Melbourne set for their second win of the season. Back-to-back draws coming into today. Collier is going to chase, or doesn't have to really chase it down, but it's going to track it down here and not allow Chiara Calafiore to get a look at it. Inside 5 minutes now remaining at the home of the Matildas. Second win of the year coming up for South Melbourne. Peacock. Miller. Just had enough pressure on the ball coming from Goodschmidt to force a mistake. Now we're looking at Goodschmidt. Lovely ball over the top for Barbieri. Barbieri can go for it here. This is for number 5 for South Melbourne. Directly at Peacock on the follow-up. Now 2 goals on the board for Heidi Dalton. Heidi Dalton came on early in the second half and has scored twice now. South Melbourne only had 7 goals to their name across their first 3 games. Coming into today, I suppose 7 still a pretty good number across 3 games of football. They've now got 5 here today. It's 12 on the year for an average of 3. Only Boranzara have been able to top that. Here's Miller. Good move around Goodschmidt, then went herself. Well above the danger zone for Gio Candy in goal for South Melbourne. So South now go to Wembley Park. It's going to be Box Hill United on Friday night and then back at home against Boranzara at Lakeside. Spring Hills to come after that for Hallis. Dalton outside of the boot. Dorales gets it in a pretty good spot here. Mila Bulic has had so much to do in this second half. Melbourne Victory about to suffer their first loss of the season. They'll be hosting Killer Park here on Sunday. Then they themselves go to Wembley Park to take on the reigning champions, Box Hill United. Melbourne City and Boranzara to come after that. It's going to fall nicely here for Miller. Calafiore is available centrally. Miller holds on to the ball. 2 now players to deal with for Miller. 3 in fact. Numbers win out. Victory have been with 10 players for nearly all of this game. The header was missed by Bulic. Furukawa, I should say, tried to go after it. Got subbed in really early in this game. Furukawa for an injured Francesca Yamano. Here's Miller Bulic. Whose throw is it? Melbourne Victories. It's been taken from the wrong spot. Mika Regev is going to be sent back. Final minute of regulation. A brace for Misha Westland, a brace for Heidi Dalton. Both still could complete the hat-trick here today. Alexis Pantasopoulos has scored as well for South. She's now been subbed out of the game. Anika Doveston, deflected cross. Registering Melbourne Victory's one and only goal here. No time to be added on. That is it. We're done. Armin Paver's seen enough. An impressive win for South Melbourne against an understrength Melbourne Victory side. Victory had 7 changes coming into today. 7 starters not in the squad at all. They had to rely on the under-20s to get through the 90 minutes and played with 10 players for nearly all of the game as well. So 2 goals in the end for Misha Westland, 2 for Heidi Dalton, 1 for Alexis Pantasopoulos. It was 3-0 at half-time. Anika Doveston scored the 1 goal for Melbourne victory. That's us done here from the home of the Matildas. We've got a men's game here coming up later on the NPL Victoria YouTube channel. Here at the home of the Matildas, South Melbourne is going to host Bentley Greens coming up in Senol NPL Victoria. Men's action coming up later this evening. But here for the women's game, we are now done. It is South Melbourne 5 defeating Melbourne Victory 1.